Hello and welcome back to the Saints Squad Show. I'm your host Dylan Sanders of Saints Wire and Pelicans Roundtable, and I've always said bye weeks are overrated. I love work that much. What can I say?
I'm Ross Jackson, host of the Locked On Saints podcast, and as we dive into some awards, I realize that there's not a lot of nominees.
John Hendricks, New Orleans football, and the Saints are not the only thing to take a bye week, as I've lost my voice still a good bit this week.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And this is wide receiver Lance Moore, and I know the Falcons and the Panthers are playing each other, but can they both lose?
Yes, they can.
It's the Saints Squad. Everything New Orleans Saints, every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from down in the Big Easy, the way only Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Saints Squad Show, starting now.
Howdy, United Nation, and welcome back to the Saints Squad Show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen. Every Sunday and Wednesday, we have a unique group of experts here ready to bring you a fun and informative show on everything New Orleans Saints. Today, we're going to be diving into a little bit of a new mock draft scenario. Last time we did it, like what if they ended up with a second pick, which is where they're at right now. But we also talked about how the remaining schedule is kind of easy. Might be some wins, might slide back a little bit. So we're going to look at what would happen, what we would do if the Saints are picking in that 6 to 10 range. We previewed that a little bit last week, so now we're actually going to do it today. And earlier in the preseason, we went through and gave out some like superlative predictions, and there hasn't been that many superlative-worthy players. But we're going to take a look at how those turned out and who we think maybe has more so fit the bill this year. But first, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I want to ask y'all real quick, do y'all want to know who y'all picked before this season, or like before you give your new one, or how do you want to do it?
Yes, I would like to know who I can make fun of myself.
All right.
And Lance will need to know what Darian picked.
What Darian,
Yeah.
Yes. Lance will know what Darian picked. And Lance did make one prediction, and I think his actually, he looked out. He went 1 for 1. I think his worked out the most.
Sweet.
All right.
Take it.
Only needs one.
So let's get started with our breakout star. Who is broken out and being a star on this New Orleans Saints team? That's Ross. And Ross picked Alontae Taylor,
who I feel like might still be the closest one to getting it done. But I'm going to be honest, as of right now, I'm going to say nobody, baby, because ain't none of them. Ain't no breakout players right now, right? Like it feels like there are players that are in line to potentially take that over the course of the next 7 games and grab that mantle or whatever. But like, I just don't feel like there's anybody here right now that I would say like, that's the breakout star. That's the breakout player. There's a couple of rookies that have had good performances and things like that, but I don't consider that breakout or look at breakout as like a couple years down the line where somebody really kind of like steps into the next level. And so there are some players that might end up doing that by the end of the year. But to be honest with you guys, and please like correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't feel like there's anybody that I would say is for sure the breakout player of the year so far for New Orleans.
You might.
I think Jonas Sanker would be the closest, and in my opinion, just based off of the expectation for him coming into the season, right? Like he wasn't penciled in as a starter. And then, I mean, even before Tyron retired, he wasn't going to probably even play. But now not only is he an effective player, but he's been making plays, and I think he's been noticeably better more than he's been noticeably bad. And for a guy with a not super high level of expectation coming into this season, I think you would have been safe to say that he up until this point has been a breakout player. Now, breakout star.
Yeah. See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's
'cause
players that
you
can
haven't-
get there because I feel like Alante can still get there. I feel like Kool-Aid could be one of those guys. I feel like even to an extent, Chris Olave could get there if he looks like for the next 7 games, 80% consistently what he looked like up against Carolina. And so, like, I think that there are the players that can get there, but I don't know if I'd say a breakout star as of right now.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dylan? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, to the point of like player versus star, he hasn't really done much in the past, like game changing wise, in a while. Which is like he's played solid, he's played fine, but I wouldn't call him a star on the defense. Like I feel like most people outside of New Orleans don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Still,
Fair.
which I think, yeah. All right.
So I'm waiting
Let's
on
go
that.
over-
To be continued. Somebody take it. Somebody get it. You know what I mean? Like somebody earn it. Like that's what I'll be waiting for by the end of the season.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you can have it. Breakout
take it.
player of the year.
Okay.
Honestly, you deserve a breakout star shout out because you're killing it right now with the Pelicans coverage and everything that you're doing. So you do deserve a breakout star shout out.
Let's go. Let's go. All right.
The man does wear many hats.
No.
Yeah. Not today.
Not today, though.
Bizarro.
There you go.
Bizarro,
There
Dylan.
he is.
Great album, Bad
all
Hat.
Master Splinter.
Let's move on to bounce back
Pyramid.
candidate. John, I bet you could probably guess who your bounce back candidate was. It's someone that probably would have fit the role, but gonna have to do it again next year. Kendre Miller.
Yeah, unfortunately, the injury was what derailed Kendre Miller. And look, I think given how this season has gone so far and what we've seen at the first part, I have a couple in mind. But for me, it's got to be Carl Granderson. This guy started hot and he's kind of just disappeared and gone into the shadows. And so I would put Carl Granderson in that conversation as somebody that I feel like in the back half, Saints can find more of their identity in this pass rush. Maybe he can get a little bit more disruptive. I thought about putting Kamara in this category too, because I feel like Kamara is just a guy that, it's just been kind of there. I don't think he's done anything to take over things, but for Granderson, we saw the flashes super early and then he's just been quiet for a long time now. And so I like his chances to kind of pick things back up. And it's important for Granderson to do that, right? A lot of these players, because you're being evaluated in this offseason. Like, are you going to be a part of this team in the rebuild? Or are they going to try to move you? You never know, because we threw Granderson out as a trade candidate potentially, and so I think he's somebody that I can help his case when it's all said and done. What'd you say, Ross?
No, I was laughing. It was Lance. He said, "No, my headphones."
I wasn't sure if anybody heard me, but nobody reacted until you did. I was like, "Oh,
I just heard something.
Yeah, I thought that there might have been
don't.
I thought there might have been a little like mouse or something hanging out around here. I didn't really know what it was. It was just a crazy noise.
That's the kind of exact kind of reaction I would have in that situation.
Sure. Yeah.
I would agree. I don't think there's really been like a breakout star or anything. Like, I mean, a bounce back candidate.
I was gonna say that was last segment. Yeah.
I do like your thinking though, John, about like who could be that guy now, right? Like who is that player through the last 7? And I think like if Granderson ends up being that guy, that's great for Granderson. That'd be great for New Orleans as well on the defensive side.
My pick, I guess, would probably be someone like Devin Neal, someone who started off the year injured, now has more of a role and stuff. But we'll see. Let's move over to the Marcus Colston Silent Assassin Award. That are your hidden gem. Before the season, Darian picked Talise Fuanga as his hidden gem.
Oh, okay.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm in agreement with him there. And I don't know. It's very, very rare that a first round pick is like, a hidden gem or a silent assassin, like Dylan says, or a quiet storm, like Marcus Colston himself was. But I put Kelvin Banks Jr. Because while he has, yes, sir.
But a rookie.
I love it. I love it.
I wouldn't say he's been the greatest left tackle in the league. But as far as, giving up sacks and him being noticeably not good, I think he's been solid. And I think it's a good thing that he doesn't have a million penalties like rookie left tackles oftentimes seem to have. To me, looks like
veterans.
More true. To me, looks like more than just a long-term starter. Looks like a potential Pro Bowl, All-Pro type player, especially once the offense kind of gets its bearings going in their operation and some injured guys back healthy. Like I think that under the radar for sure, and because we're not coming in here talking about him too often unless he messes up, and we haven't talked about him a lot. So sure, he's given up some pressures, but that's to be expected, and pressures are not always on one specific guy on the offensive line or the quarterback or the running back or the tight end. Like there's a bunch of guys that are involved in protections, and when the protections aren't right, that's when you give up the pressures, the sacks, and things like that. So, I was of the assumption that we had to pick winners for all these awards, so I picked one, and I think it's a solid pick.
I like it.
I got a couple.
We are free people, Lance. You do what you want.
Sure. Yeah.
You do what you
I
want.
would throw in like a hidden gem that I think of, like undrafted guys or late round picks. But how about Isaiah Stallbird? This is a guy who's found a role on this team. Not only as a key special teamer to make you say JT Gray, who? I mean, that's part of his game, and then just being able to play on defense too. I think he's somebody that deserves some love here. Luke Fortner. I mean, they lost to Eric McCoy. He stepped in and kind of, I don't say it's seamless, but that was a problem last year that they had this revolving door for the centers. So, I mean, is it like we're talking about, a diamond in the rough? I don't know, but a gem. Yeah, I'd say it's nice because it's refreshing that they don't have to worry about that position right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that.
All right. I had the make you play like hit replay award. Like someone you
wait till you see him hit. Wait till you see him hit.
Like a highlight machine, someone you want to rewind and see a bunch. And I'm gonna go. I went with Brian Bresee before the season, and while I think Brian Bresee has actually had a pretty solid season, I wouldn't put him in this category because he hasn't really had the sack production. But I think he's been far better in run defense, which is, I guess, isn't like the flashiness, but it's still something that you need to see. I'm going to go for my replay, make a hit replay, someone that I've done it for a couple times, partly because I'm just like a fan of his. I want to see what he does, but also he just makes nice plays. I'm going to go with Quincy Riley. It's someone that I like to see. I like watching coverage. I want to see what he does. And he'll make some nice plays. He had that interception I watched probably 40 times. He had, the pass breakup, stuff like that. He is someone I enjoy watching play football. And I'll watch him again and again. And there honestly hasn't been that many highlight machines this season. It might be Tyler Shuck moving forward. If he keeps making these crazy throws, stuff like that. But right now, I think to this point, it's probably been Quincy Riley is the person I've hit replay on the most.
Yeah, Circus Catch Chris is back.
Yeah,
if he keeps bringing those in, he could be one of those guys too. Sorry, John.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No, I think what to appreciate though about Dylan and some of the things that we talked about, this rookie class has just been so refreshing. And again, far from perfect, right? But this is a good start in this rebuild. And guys like Quincy Riley, we don't know what's going to happen with Delonte when it comes to the offseason, but he could have a very bigger, more prominent role next year, obviously. And so he's getting baptism by fire, so to speak. Same thing with Jonas Sanker. And so I do feel good about those. And of course, we don't want to overlook Kelvin Banks or Danny Stutzman, or of course, Tyler Shuck, Devin Neal. This class has been really refreshing to see out there. And I hope they can get another one like it next year, but there's no given there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue on with our award show reprise for our musical theater heads out there, like Ross.
It's me. I'm them.
We're gonna jump right into continue on. We're gonna come back with the Lagniappe Award, and it's my favorite one that we handed out yet because of who Ross gave it to. Hey, yeah, Ryan. You need me to, everyone's already seen your ads, but you want me to do it because I'm so good at ad reads. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Wait, yeah, and I know I'm wearing AirPods, so this bit doesn't really make sense. Anyway, let's get to Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Yeah, I said it. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone, like me, and keep your same number in contacts. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. That's mintmobile.com/lockedonnfl. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited new time customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on limited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right. Thank you for listening to this State Squad show on Locked On Podcast, where your team every day. Now the #1 podcast network. Look at that. Look at that. I said it on
That's
the
why I was bringing it earlier. I was just trying to get everybody hyped for the bye week.
I said
the podcast.
I said it on Locked On Pelicans the other day, but I'm just glad that somebody in the New Orleans market is doing well in the standings. And we
don't even need a GM to do it too. That's crazy.
It's locked on. All right, let's jump back into these preseason predictions and maybe retooling them for how the season's actually gone. The Lagniappe Award was Ross, someone that always brings that something extra, and Ross gave it to Velus Jones Jr.
Oops. Well,
started okay.
He brought all that Lagniappe to Seattle for about a day, and now he's a free agent again. So that would be about it. So bad call on my part, but I thought he was going to be a little bit more of a contributor when it came to at least kick return side. But I'll tell you what, you're going to like my new answer. You're going to like my new answer. My Lagniappe Award now goes to linebacker Danny Stutzman because he's literally a little something extra every single game. New Orleans Saints fans can be as disappointed as they want, as they deserve to be about this New Orleans Saints team right now. They can be down in the droves, but every third drive in both halves, Danny Stutzman comes out and makes like 5 tackles.
Special teams too.
Right. And he comes out on special teams and makes plays. But I love it. Like last week up against Carolina, he played 6 defensive snaps and on defense had 2 tackles in those 6 defensive snaps. Like this dude is just a tackling machine so far this year. And so for me, he is quite literally a little bit of Lagniappe every single game and something that every Saints fan gets excited about every single game when number 28 hits the defense next to number 56 and gets an opportunity to go out there and perform. And so far, he's been a lot of fun to watch too.
I'll give credit for Pete Warner because I think he's been playing better as of late. But I really thought that they might make a move and try and because I really liked whenever we saw like the swapping out of Danny Stutzman and Isaiah Stallbird. I feel like that could be something really, really cool, but it seems like they probably might save that for next year if there's a move made this offseason, either a retirement or a trade or anything like that.
Can I tell you what I think killed the potential Pete Werner trade?
What?
This is speculation on Ross's part. Logan Wilson got traded for a 7th round pick, and the Saints probably went, never mind. That's all good.
No, we can get that for Trevor. That's what he said. Right, 2027.
Right. Who, by the way, gave up the record-breaking sack to Josh Allen Hines, who's now the top sack getter, as they like to say on national television for some reason, amongst all, in Jacksonville Jaguars franchise history. And that was a 3-man pass rush and Josh Allen Hines winning it 1-on-1 against Trevor Penning. Whoops.
Yeah, I have a question about this linebacker rotation. Like, has Kellen or anybody in the building talked about why or like?
Well, they've given their answer as to why. Like, if I'm being honest about it, right? Yeah. And their answer is, it's an opportunity to get Danny Stutzman exposure. And that's been the word that they use for all these rookies that are kind of sneaking in every now and then, is the idea of giving them exposure so that if they're ever called upon, that's not them hitting the field for the first time in like an injury situation or something like that, which I do get. I do believe that is part of the value, but I don't think that's the whole story, if I'm just being honest, because you don't take guys off the field without a reason to feel that you can take them off the field. You know what I mean?
And then to me, it's confusing because, like you said, Danny Stutzman comes in, he's making plays, he's making tackles, but then you take him out the next drive. So what are we really? I'm not saying that they need to be riding the hot hand all the time, but you would think, hey, this guy's in, he's being effective while he's in. Let's keep him in and let him play some more. Or, hey, Danny, I know this is supposed to be your drive, but Pete's balling. We're going to keep Pete in the game, And I also think, this is just me.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't hurt too bad to take DeMario off the field every now and again and give the other three opportunity to have a little bit of a rotation. One, because it would help DeMario probably last throughout the season. And two, you get a look at what your defense is going to look like in the chance or in the case that DeMario's not back on this team next year, or whenever he's not back on this team. You get a real look at what your group looks like. I don't know. I guess I'm just confused by, hey, every third drive in each half, we're going to take this one guy out, put this one guy in, and then in certain nickel situations and third downs, we're going to take that guy, same guy out, but we're going to put a different guy in to play pass coverage. Like, I'm just confused. I feel like it's a lot of personnel stuff going on. And I understand they have a lot of guys that they like and they want to see play, but I just think there is potentially a better way to get that handled in a more simple way, honestly.
Yeah. Adding to that, I think one of the reasons why I think they really like getting Isaiah Stallbert in particular, going back to John's pick from the last segment, is that Stallbert's kind of this unique hybrid, right? Between being a safety and a linebacker. He can kind of do both. And so if you put him in as sort of the nickel linebacker, it's kind of like almost having a dime package as well. But he can rush the passer and kind of do all these other things. Like you would imagine you'd almost kind of want that on the field more, right? Yes, that's valuable on third down for sure, but in any obvious throwing situation, that's a good good thing for him to be a part of. So I'm curious to see if maybe even, to your point, if he also ticks up at some point throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's something that we see a lot more, I think, in college, is that rover star, whatever linebacker position on the defense. It happens a little bit in the NFL too, but I think we see it a little bit more in college. It could be interesting to see.
I think there's just so many more college teams are throwing the ball a lot. You line up in your base defense with the star guy playing linebacker, that team is going to run the ball down your throat. NFL coordinators are way too smart for that. Okay, they have this 215-pound linebacker that's playing in the box. We're running it right at him, play after play after play, till they have to take him off the field. And you can get away with that in college. You can't get away with that in the NFL. Not to say that it's impossible, because we've seen smallish or smaller linebackers have success, but I just don't see. This whole thing confuses me a lot, and I'm just want some answers. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I have an answer to who John picked for the one we will talk too much about this season. It's someone we don't talk about at all anymore, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, at the time he was the quarterback, so it makes all the sense. I think we're still talking too much about Spencer Rattler too. I think going in this direction, because when I was thinking about this topic, I think this is going to be Taysom Hill the back half of the season, because we've already brought up the fact of, are they using him not wisely enough? Are they using him too much? Whatever the case may be. And so I don't necessarily mean to bring this in a negative light, but I don't think that they've fully unlocked how to use Taysom properly. And that's a challenge for Kellen Moore. And I think that as you show your age some in the NFL, and he's a guy that they're going to have to figure out in the offseason what they're going to plan on doing. I think Denver would foam at the mouth to get him in their building too. But at the same time, I just wonder week to week what the game plan is going to look like. And look, they got the Falcons at home. You can run on the Falcons, right? They've got a good pass rush, so you're going to need to have a really good ground game, I feel like, in this one. Not to jump too far ahead, but that'll be something that I think, because I don't know that we've talked too much about Taysom in a negative light of maybe hindering things a little bit, but I think this has started to show a little bit more since he's come back, and maybe he's getting revved up. Maybe they'll figure it out, but I'm going to switch it over to him.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with the opposing quarterback's nightmare. That was Darian picked Kool-Aid McKinstry, which I think that it turned into the opposing quarterback's lullaby. If he gets picked on, not because he's bad, but he seems to get picked on a lot.
He does get picked on a lot. Yeah.
People aren't really scared of him. His play has been inconsistent. He's had some great games. He's had some not so great games. But yeah, I don't know if he's fit the nightmare role yet.
Yeah, I'm not Darian, but I wanted to be able to pick a defensive lineman, even a linebacker. Like I wanted to. I really, really wanted to, and I honestly I couldn't. Like, it should be Chase Young. It should be Carl Granderson. It should be Brian Brzee. 6 years ago, it should have been Cam Jordan, but we're not at 6 years ago, right? Like, so I'm going to go with, and this is going to probably sound strange to some people, and the reason I'll explain, Alontae Taylor. And not because he's a lockdown corner, but because of what he does around the line of scrimmage, pressures, sacks, etc. Yep. A guy that if I'm a coordinator and I'm talking to my quarterback during the week, I'm going to say, hey, if we're in nickel personnel, you better find out where this kid is every single time. Not because we can't throw at him, not because we have to worry that he's going to pick off every ball or anything like that, but because he can create chaos by himself with his pass rush, with the things that he's able to do around the line of scrimmage, as far as reading plays, getting in the backfield to make tackles for loss on running backs. I mean, like, he, to me, is a guy that would be annoying to play against if I was a quarterback. And I feel like he's obviously better suited playing in the slot, but I mean, looking at the rest of the guys around him, I think he's the one guy that kind of stands out to me as somebody that could potentially be a quarterback's nightmare.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's active all the time.
Yeah. I think that is like the best pick for this award. If I'm being just to I think that's fantastic. And that's really, really good insight, Lance, because everything that number one does near the line of scrimmage, like they have to know. They got to know where he's at, all this stuff. And he's been so disruptive from that perspective, especially last week against Carolina. In particular, you really kind of saw him settle in a little bit. That's awesome.
Great bait, Bryce Young. Yeah, he baited him into that. And so, I mean, you don't know if he's running after. You don't running back has to figure out if they're going to block him, if he's coming, he's not. Like, I mean, they're just a lot. I agree.
I mean, and for somebody who is reportedly involved in contract negotiations for an extension, it's super interesting when you look at those guys, those slot nickelback corners who want to be paid top tier money, like number one lockdown outside corners. Yep. Look, honestly, I would argue that the amount of nickel offense that's played in this league, not just regular or solid, I think a really good nickel cornerback is almost as important as having a shutdown cornerback on the outside, especially with how good the slot receivers are in the NFL. But I mean, I think the history of those guys getting paid less than the outside guys is going to work against Alontae in this. And look, I don't think he's a bad outside corner. I just think he's a lot better slot guy. That's just, and he seems way more natural playing inside there in the funk. Like that's the type of player he is. And I think he should be rewarded handsomely because he's been that guy the entire time he's been in the NFL. It's not like he's some guy that you tried on the outside, it didn't work, then you moved him on the inside and he's been up and down like that. He's been great at that role his entire career. So I hope that they can figure something out because I think that the two guys on the outside will kind of turn a corner and become really good players. If you've got those three, I mean, you're talking about a good, solid group for sure. And I think situation. That, from a front office perspective, you don't want to necessarily overpay anybody. But if you're going to overpay somebody, let it be a homegrown player that you drafted and developed in your system. Not some guy that you think is going to be the savior from the outside, which a lot of times in this organization, especially at the safety position, has not worked out.
Yeah.
Tyron was great, right? But Tyron wasn't the player that he was, years prior coming here. But I think there's some other guys that shall remain nameless that came in and got paid big money that were not very good. So if you're going to overpay your own guys and not guys from outside the building. That's just how I feel.
He talking about Marcus May. The corners.
There was a guy before him too. There was a guy before him too.
There's been plenty.
There's been a lot of them.
Yeah, there's been plenty.
But to Lance's point too, like you don't have to pay those outside guys for another couple of years either. That's the other thing. Like you can budget this appropriately and pay Alontae Taylor. Even if you're overpaying based on what the market says. You can make that up at a later point because you've got a couple years before you got these other guys to pay. So I wonder how much that factors into like contract structure. There's a lot of details to that, but I'm curious about how that plays into this negotiation situation.
Yeah.
I also wonder. Oh, I'm sorry, Dylan. Just real quick. I also wonder the coaching staff. Did they get a second shot at this? Because if they swap defenses and do all this other stuff, does Alontae fit the new defensive scheme?
It's going to change it.
It's going to change. Right. That's all.
Yep.
Go ahead, Dylan. Yep. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll just give my.
The other thing I was thinking about, I had to do it to him once. Go ahead, Dylan.
All right. Well, I've been trying to get something that fit in with this, but we don't have the time anymore because everyone keeps talking.
So we'll just on the podcast.
Yeah. We'll just do it when we get. Screw it. We'll do it live. The last time we had one of these episodes, we also had a FanDuel ad, and it ended infamously with me commenting on Juwan Johnson. We're going to steer clear of that this time because the NFL and NBA seasons are in full swing. And there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. In honor of Jameis Winston playing football again today, he's had a solid game. I made a parlay for over passing yards and touchdowns for him. Need him to score a little bit more, but he's throwing the ball well. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. I'm going to close out the last segment with mine was who will make themselves the most money. I picked Rashid Shaheed, and I honestly think that might stand true for him getting traded, getting up out of here, going somewhere else. But I'll change my answer to Chris Olave for people who have made themselves the most money because they picked him. Not even very much his play on the field has made himself that much money this year, but they picked him. They're going to, I think, extend him. And he's going to get a lot of money. He's going to get wide receiver one money, I think, from the Saints. And, that's a lot of money. I think he'll be one of the higher paid players on the team.
I think at a future episode, we should go and look at what the AAV is for receivers next year and then kind of try to come up with a figure for Olave and see if we're close. Could
I
be.
like the there's the Devonta Smith is at, I think he's at 30 a year. And then and then it goes up from there. Like Jamar is at 40 a year. 40 a year.
It's because he's
Like,
Jamar
that's
Chase.
insane.
Of course,
No,
yeah,
I get it.
he's the
I'm
only
not
one.
comparing for Chris Olave, but I'm just saying like top end wide receiver money is way different than we used to talk about top end wide receiver money. That's all I'm saying. It's like it's amazing like how much that has jumped.
I think MT
that's a great
used
idea.
to get
like
like 19 mil or something like
Right,
that. He got like
right.
some
And it
crazy,
was-
and at the time that was just insane. But
Yeah.
look at it now.
Here we are just a couple years later and it's double that. Like it's I just find that I think that's cool. Like I think it's
cool.
fascinating. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's going to come in around 30 million.
That would make sense.
I think that's the going rate. And even if we happen to draft a receiver in the first round, say top 10 wide receiver, well, he's going to be on a rookie deal. So you can have your number one receiver making rookie money with your number two actually making number one money. And by the time that number one receiver has to get paid, your Olave either is not still there or working on a renegotiation or something to figure out his money, So it's like,
Right.
Whether you believe he's the true number one or not, he's going to get paid like he's the true number one.
Yep.
And then at that point, it's up to him. Honestly, it's up to him to take his game to the next level. Like you gotta make that happen.
Yeah. Devontae's at 25 per year. My bad. 3 years, 75. And then Higgins is at 28. And so 28.75, I think. And so like, I think he's got to come in at above Higgins. So like that 30 range is like exactly that.
All right, let's get through our last four
I'll go
quicker.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the Shrimp and Grits comfort player. And I think you might go where you went last time, Demario Davis.
Yeah, I got to say with Demario Davis. Just one dude that you just never have to think about. You never have to worry about anything like that. I love Lance's point that maybe reducing some snaps down the stretch helps to keep him more effective down the stretch. And so I do think that there's some value there in addition. But anytime that he is on the field, which right now is always, you just don't, it's just a dude you don't have to worry about. You ain't got to think about him. He goes out there, he makes plays, does what he does. Should have had that interception. That was a terrible roughing the passer call. But like, just a dude you never have to worry about. That, and to me, that's comfort, especially in the NFL, when you don't have to think about that guy because you know that he's going to go out there and do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, he is the easiest pick for this just because So Demario Davis, that is a comfort player. It's just it just feels good to watch. Feels good to watch him play. All right, the po' boy, carry the load in his position group. John, you went with Eric McCoy.
Yeah, wow. Well, that was fun
for a while
because he did. I mean, that's how it goes. But I guess I would just go ahead and, since there's really not that many to choose from, I guess in this way, I'd have to go with DeMario, and not to piggyback off of Ross, but just to say that in this group, he's still showing that he can play. He's still showing that he can lead this group, and I think that guys like Danny Stutzman, Isaiah Stallbird are all benefiting from his tutelage, if you will. And so look, it's DeMario. He's carrying this group. He's the heart and soul of this team. I'm going to hate it in the day that he hangs it up, but at the same time, I still think he carries his own water and then some. So this dude can do just about anything and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. It is, I mean, yeah. The definition, again, I think just the important to that group, I think.
He's like your go-to po' boy. He's like you go with the shrimp po' boy and fully dressed and stuff, That's what it is.
He's the usual. He's the usual. You walk in and you go, I'll have a DeMario Davis. I'll have the usual.
That's right.
Hey,
Lance.
Close that off real quick. I saw Lance.
Oh, Lord.
5-year-old.
Oh, Lord.
No, you will not, sir.
It is Sunday.
He's like, no, you won't.
Be careful.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go with Lance. You had. I'm giving you Darian's from last time, but you also picked the Muffaletta Award last time with which was Alante Taylor. Does a little bit of everything. I think that's still because we talked a bit about Alante earlier, and that's why he got his other award essentially. So let's just go with the beignet brings something sweet to the field. Darian went with Kendre Miller, who we already also talked about.
Yeah, unfortunately. And, you know, we've got a rhythm going here. And if you look at my list, I will also have a Demario Davis on this.
You don't want to say Juwan? Juwan.
I will. Hey, look, the something sweet. I'll have a Demario. The something sweet, in my opinion, when I read the recap or whatever, the section that you sent us, Dylan, I just thought of Demario's energy. It still radiates on the field clearly, but through the TV screen, like he's like a timeless player that still, for whatever he's doing outside of the building, finds a way to come on Sundays and show up and bring that same level of intensity and energy and focus and determination and playmaking ability. Like that to me is sweet, to watch a guy that is almost as old as I am still out there balling. Like that, that to me is super sweet, and something that I really, really hope that the young players on this team are looking at and being like, wow, I got to be more like that. I got to watch what this guy's doing throughout the week in the building. I got to ask this dude more questions. I have to ask this dude what he's doing for his recovery, because I haven't been around him long enough. Like, to be able to be 35 years old and flying around the field and making plays and still providing the energy. Because I can tell you myself, it gets a little bit redundant after a long time in the NFL. And sure, playing in the game is fun, but even fun games at times become like, oh, like we're doing this again. And like the seasons, especially in a losing season, it becomes super long and taxing and harder to do your job. But he hasn't ever slowed down or made an excuse or not look like Demario Davis. So that's why I wanted to have one, just like you guys.
I love it. I also like Demario being both the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert on here.
Actually, yeah. Jeez,
he's a whole meal.
That dude's a whole meal.
Jeez, quick, Dylan, segue.
No, I'm gonna let y'all sit in that one. Oh man! All right. Well, I had the crawfish boil, the most important position group, so I too will go with Demario Davis. No, I'm gonna go with the offensive. I went with the defensive line last time. They let me down. They've not been the most important position. They should have been, and maybe they have been in a negative way, just because of most important. They're not impacting winning as much as they should. But I'm going to go with the offensive line this time because, honestly, at this point, wins might come. It'll be fun to watch. But I think the most important thing right now is the offensive line keeping Tyler Shuck healthy, keeping him upright and protecting him. I think that's the most important thing for the rest of this season. So I gotta go with the offensive line.
It's a good call.
Moving parts and pieces, trading Trevor Penning, losing Eric McCoy. I mean, you think this would be a bad thing, but I thought that they handled the Panthers really well. I'm really interested to see what they do against the Falcons, because that's going to be a much bigger test for this offensive line.
Yeah. Falcons right now, 2-point lead still over the Carolina Panthers at the moment here on a Sunday.
Still time for him to choke.
Still time for him to choke. I have a B answer for shrimp and grits. Since we have a little bit,
taking us backward. No,
yeah. But just like we had all that, we had a whole meal of Demario Davis, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to like a B meal here, with shrimp and grits. But it's different. It's not shrimp and grits comfort in terms of like you always go back to it and that's something you could always rely on. But like the first time you try shrimp and grits, you might feel a little not so sure about it, and then you try it and you find out like, hey, this is fantastic. How about Luke Fortner for that area of it. Like he's been not surprisingly good because like I didn't really have an expectation around him at all. But I mean, he is somebody that played over 2,000 snaps as a starter at the position and years prior and everything like that. But he's been one of those guys that has kept the Saints from having the same from being impacted the same way as when they lost Eric McCoy last year, when they went to like 4 different centers and all this other stuff. And they signed Connor McLaughlin off the street and said, go out there and play. Connor McGovern. Yeah, I know a different Connor.
Yeah, Shane Lemieux, he got hurt, and then McGovern.
Shane Lemieux got hurt, and they brought McGovern in. And so, like, you have these guys or you had a season where you really struggled there because you didn't have a good backup or a strong enough backup or a healthy backup. And right now, like, Luke Fortner has been awesome for the team.
It was supposed to be Will Clapp.
Much better.
It was supposed to be him.
And Luke Fortner taking the opportunity by the horns and proven that he was someone that I didn't even know if was going to make the roster, whatever they traded for him.
Right.
So
but a rare trade win. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Colin Saunders got released, and so
he
got picked up or anything, but yeah, they definitely won that trade.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's close out. That was our preseason predictions recap reprise, and we're gonna move on now into something where we're not going to talk about Demario Davis, the draft.
Watch me.
Just watch.
Well, let's see how they do it. We're gonna go and talk about a draft and see what happens. What we might do if the Saints pick at 6 through 10. We had that second pick last week, so let's change it up a little bit. Coming up next. All right. Closing this out, let's get to this mock draft. Right now, the Saints still have the second pick, like mathematically, but things might change. Ross mentioned the Panthers Falcons doesn't have any impact on it right now, but we'll see how that plays out. And then the Titans and Texans still could go either way. The Titans are actually driving down by a touchdown right now as we're talking, so we'll see how that ends. While we're talking about all this, that is a big one, obviously, for the Saints with that top pick. Still a possibility. And the Giants actually have a chance to tie it against the Packers. So,
they got a Green Bay territory
because they have an extra game and an extra loss, so they would immediately jump the Saints.
Yeah. All right. So let's go with John. The Saints are picking in that 6 to 10 range. Who are you taking?
Got a cloud of players, but I think just since to answer your question, Jermon McCoy is probably who I would look at because I don't know about the Alante stuff. So cornerback from Tennessee. I think he gives you a lot of what you need on this defense. And I don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. It's going to be fascinating to see how they try to tackle Alante's deal. And again, maybe they let him test the market too. I don't know. That could be something, but I think McCoy would be a absolute killer here. And I also came prepared, Dylan, with extra because in case somebody took my guy, but I didn't know I was going to go first. So that's the other reason.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I'm just messing with you. Just messing with you.
I know you are. Cool. I'll cut you off here in a few minutes. Don't worry.
I was thinking about going cornerback too, but I didn't. Yeah. But my pick would have been Mansour Delane. Maybe it's just because I've seen him the most out of anybody, but he is just so impressive at playing corner. Like he looks like a plug and play day one starter impact player for somebody. Someone is going to get a very good player. And, I think that cornerback isn't one of those positions where because they have a couple of players that most people aren't going to be like, oh, you really need someone. But you can never have too many cornerbacks in the NFL. And, if you can get a guy like a Mansour Delane or Jermon McCoy, I think that really sets your defense up for success long-term, getting that secondary shored up. And, honestly, if they ruin into next year with a group of, if they let Alante Taylor go and use that money maybe elsewhere, and you let like Quincy Riley play a little bit of interior, and you have like Kool-Aid and Mansour, or you have those two on the outside. You have Gerard McCoy in the nickel. I think that opens up a lot for the defense. I would be perfectly fine with that. So yeah, it's not the flashy pick, but I like it.
I can't wait to play GM this offseason like we do.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
He reminds me, Mansour Delaney reminds me a lot of Derek Stingley. How he moves, how he looks on the field. Like he's very, very fluid, got great ball skills. When I was watching, I'm like, that looks just like Stingley out there. Good player. I like that pick. And I like the logic behind that pick. But I feel like corner is a position similar to like O-line where you can never have too many guys. Right? So
for sure,
if there's on their draft board, there's several guys that have gone before them that they really like, and a corner happens to be the next best player on there, I wouldn't be mad at them.
Yeah.
And McCoy's got ball skills too, man. He's like Darius Slay. He's kind of like that Will Johnson. I know, Dylan's favorite Johnson over there, but
dang, you really found a way to bring it back.
Jawan.
He's like the healthy Will Johnson coming into this round.
Nice mustache, bro.
That was the wrong one. The wrong one. All right, let's go with Rouse.
All right, so if I'm going 6 through 10, I think for me, like the first name that jumps out is Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. Is he fair to put in this range right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like 6 to 10, because I think of him as a top 10 guy, and he could be anywhere in there. But yeah, I think like to our conversation earlier, like if you pay, what did I miss? I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say yes, it is fair game because this is a team that drafted Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner. So, anyways, that's what.
Yeah, facts. It's funny. I was you know what's so funny? I was talking to Sharif earlier, and we were talking about like previous drafts, stuff like that, and we were like, what is going on with Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner right now? Both of them were injured reserve.
Yeah,
both of them
they're hurt.
It's
Shocker.
wild. Anyway, so I went with Jordan Tyson here. I think that he's my like top wide receiver in this draft. I know that there's other guys like Malachi Lemon, and then there's Carnell Tate and all that. But I really like Jordan Tyson. And to our conversation earlier when we were talking about Chris Olave getting 30-ish or so per. That would put him in a position to where that's kind of what number 2 money looks like now, or at least low end 1. And then so you get a rookie on a 4-year deal plus the 5th year option. You get a little bit of team control there. That's a great way to set everything up. And there's anybody else in the wide receiver room you're worried about paying right away, right? Like they traded for Jalen Polk. He's already on contract. Devon Vele's already on contract. Like that was the advantage of moving for guys like that. Trey Palmer still has another year on his deal, I believe, when they picked him up from waivers. And so you've kind of built your backup wide receiver room out already in a way that could be really interesting. Obviously, there's going to be competition there, and not all those guys are guaranteed to make a roster. But adding a guy like Jordan Tyson, who's just big, physical, can go out there and be your split-in, top wide receiver, and then let Chris Olave continue to move around, I think that would be an awesome situation for New Orleans. And so if they end up outside of top 5 and he's there, I think he's a pretty sensible selection.
Drafting a wide receiver, that's crazy talk. I'm just saying. We thought they were going to do that in past 2 years. Stuff.
And for like 3 years before they took Olave too, right? Like they were going for the Traquan Smiths and the Kawan Bakers and like these guys and stuff later in the draft instead. It's like, no, man. Like there's a reason why like lately, like round 1 wide receivers are the difference makers in the NFL amongst that position group right now. And so like if you want a difference maker there, go and invest in that difference maker. And you got to do that early.
I think I'm going to go with someone that I think is a difference maker, and it's not a position I think people are picking for the Saints right now, but I think it's something that I've harped on, and I think we really need to invest in. I'm going Jeremiah Love, halfback Notre Dame.
Oh, interesting.
I think that is a game-changing type of player. We've talked about that positional value. We talked about like Jahmyr Gibbs. No one cares anymore that they drafted in the top 10. It might be a pick that people wince at a little bit, but I like it.
Sorry, Jameis just got picked. Jameis just got picked.
Jameis.
I was going to say, I think John just like stepped on a rake or something.
5404.
But I'm gonna go with I think my pick is Jeremiah Love. I think that I think you could have him and AK in the same backfield, and we've talked about it. You don't really get that home run threat anymore in the running game out of AK. It hasn't happened in a long time. Jeremiah Love has been really productive over the past couple of years. He has a little bit of pass catching ability. It's not something they ask him to do very much, but he can catch footballs. I think he has about 30 catches in each of the last 2 years. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns last year, 17 touchdowns last year, 14 touchdowns this year. Production, impact. That's someone that you can build that backfield with and have next to Tyler Shuck for a long time.
Yeah.
Like it.
That's a fun one. He's a fun player.
It's a very fun pick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I'm excited to hear all of us kind of on the same page about positional value, like to hell with it. Especially when you have if you have an opportunity to get an impact player, you go and get an impact player. It doesn't matter what the letters are next to their name.
Jeremiah Love
as long as the letters aren't IR, let me say that.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeremiah Love might be my Tyler Warren of Lance last year. I'm all in on someone where I know this. I don't know.
He's so good. He's good.
He's a beast.
He's a plug and play all pro tight end. Like it's crazy.
Well, and I said the same thing about Brock Bowers the year before. Like I wanted this team to draft Brock Bowers, and we were on Tyler Warren as well. So it's just amazing what an elite tight end can do with your offense for your offense.
You hear that? Come let us draft at least in the first round. Oh yeah, right. At least in the first round.
We'll leave after that.
Lance is the only closest person that would actually be able to G in a G.
They're not letting me in that draft room.
No, I'd love to see.
Okay, so is it my turn?
Yeah,
should be.
Yeah, so I love everybody's picks, and I think all of those players would come in and help this team out tremendously. And obviously, I'm not up on what their plan is for certain players in the offseason, but if we're in 6 to 10, I think this guy's going to be there, and I think this guy could literally play any position in the secondary. It's Caleb Downs. Yeah. I think if Alante's gone, or if we're not going to pay Alante, draft Caleb Downs, because then you've got probably the most versatile defensive back in the entire college football in the country this year. A guy that's tough, it's smart. He's got instincts that I think, veteran NFL players, a lot of them do not have. The lineage as far as his brother and his dad. I mean, like, this dude could play free safety. This dude could play strong safety. This dude could play in the box. This dude could play nickel back. And I'm sure in man-to-man coverage, you could split him out and he could play corner against basically anybody. I think he immediately comes in and makes a major, major impact because he's that special of a player. And he comes from a program in Ohio State that does it the right way as far as, drafting, as far as bringing in and developing their players. Obviously, Caleb Downs was an All-American as a freshman at Alabama. But to me, he's just gotten better and better the last 2 years at Ohio State. So, this dude is a consistent player, and I think would be amazing for this defense, especially one that struggles to get after the passer. You got to have a solid secondary. So I think he would be a great addition to this team.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think he's so fun.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're getting along. We're having some good picks. We're all in agreement. The Saints need to get better. Look at that.
Yeah, it's not hard to get better when you're in the top 5 or 10. Hopefully, you would think.
Hey, don't.
You would think.
That's why Lance keeps saying stop winning games, or don't win too many games. Don't win too many games.
Yeah, I would. I think that's right. I was trying to see how Trevor Penning did in his first game.
Not good. And the Bills, I raised my eyebrows because Josh Allen has his 3rd rushing touchdown. He's thrown 3 touchdowns too. 6 touchdowns from this man.
75 career rushing touchdowns for a quarterback. Tied Cam Newton for the best all time.
Wow.
This dude is insane.
I just had the pressure numbers for Trevor Penning.
I thought you were doing your Mickey Mouse reaction.
No, all right.
So wait, what's the number?
He played 47 snaps, 6 pressures, and a sack.
Oof.
And they played him at left tackle, right? And
Yeah.
if I read that right,
First start at left tackle since 2023.
Yeah.
Poor Trevor.
Cool.
And he got called with 2 penalties. The Trevor Penning special. So
Yeah.
I'll have
All
one
right.
Trevor Penning, please. Just get hit in the face with 2. Just hit in the face with 2 flags. They just smack you with a towel.
Oh man,
God.
that's man. All right. Well, that was fun. Fun little episode. Do we have any last minute? Has any of these games finished?
Well,
or anything?
Giants lost. The Bucks are about to
lost,
lose.
yeah.
The Falcons
Titans
are
tied
up
it.
5.
Titans tied up.
Oh, but
Titans
the
tied.
Texans are in field goal range.
Yep.
So,
With 19 seconds left.
Yeah, so that one's probably going the Texans' way, but it's a field goal kickers in 2025. You never know. They're either
Panthers down by 5. 2 minute drive on the way,
Okay.
or 2 minute
Well,
drive
and it gives
attempt on the way, I guess.
This is for a future episode, but at what point does the Vikings see if Derek Carr is available to come out of retirement?
I'm ready to have that conversation. I'm ready for that conversation.
That's a great conversation.
Well, it's definitely not a conversation for this week because we're done. We're leaving. We're getting out of here. Thank you for listening to the Saints Squad Show. Check out me, Ross, John, and Lance on our socials for the latest. We'll be right back here on Wednesday to talk about football that's actually happening this week. It's Falcons hate week, everybody. Jerry in the chat going, I know you're going to be happy. So let's go ahead and get ready for that. Until then, make sure to check out Ross on Locked On Saints for your second listen. And I'll throw a third listen out there. Locked On Pelicans season. It's a lot going on over there. Willie Green just got fired. They're playing Steph Curry tonight, Skeleton night. So let's see what's going on over there. But until then, see y'all on Wednesday, and peace.